relaxing and waiting to find an opportunity to enter the scene, and it's really good to see him in action here today. So he's playing his Paladin in the top, and we've got Zalae with the Hunter at the bottom.
Yeah.
Do not be confused by the webcam positioning. They are static. Instead, the players will light up whenever it's their turn. Zombie Chow, pretty good in the Paladin starting hand against the Hunter, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Against the Hunter, that's amazing. But also on the other end of the spectrum, he has the Tyrion Forging, and that certainly is something that you don't want to have just yet. What's interesting is that will Zalae keep the Harrison Jones or not? Because it's like, you know that you're playing against Paladin, you will draw some cards with it, but you also want to curve really nicely as a Hunter. Like by doing this, he might draw something that some late game, for example, like high mains, and then end up hero powering on turn 2 or 3. But I do like the keep in the end.
So Lostov has a shield mini bot to curve nicely even after the zombie chow.
Wow.
So what I like about Harrison Jones is that if you play it, like you won't play it into a Paladin Shredder, but if Paladin Shredder, you wouldn't want to play, if it comes out, you wouldn't want to play Harrison anyway. Right. So what ends up happening very often is that this is the perfect card to play after they play True Silver because they can't possibly have played Shredder at the same time. So it gives you that extra edge. Oh. Are you serious?
Look at that! That's a good one.
Oh no.
That's like the best one he could have even hoped for. That's just perfect.
Created by
Web Spinner. But that's just fair. I mean, Lostov's hand is so sick. If he only found a masterful battle, I don't even.
Never mind. This has equalized pretty quickly.
Yeah. Looking like shaping up to be an exciting game. Even though he picked up the Master of a Battle, Zalae does have the Unleash the Hound, so he won't be in too bad of a shape still.
Yeah, I mean, Zalae is hoping that somehow, just somehow, his Haunted Keeper is able to live, but there's no way that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, if you lost though, you're like, okay, I got this, unless there's an Unleash, and Zalae does have it.
Yeah, the Unleash, like, you play it here because you have to, but it doesn't feel amazing because it's not a very proactive play, right? It's kind of, it's not even really putting you in the game. No, at best, it's clearing the 1 health minions.
But you have to play it, and you have to do it. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, you're getting 5 Hounds, you get to clear that stuff. So he can trade like the Spectral Spider into, so he's gonna have a couple of Hounds remaining afterwards. So there might be like some opportunities for Houndmaster on the next turn if Lostov for some reason doesn't clear those.
Yeah, like Lostov has shown how good he is at playing around cards. It seems in the past few games that I've seen him. So I really doubt this Hound will live, but we'll see. Maybe there's a chance for him to make a mistake here. Offer the opportunities to make mistakes, and maybe once in a while you'll be rewarded.
Yeah, like the weapon attack into a Hound is very obvious, but the shielded mini bot, it's something that he might not do, but most likely he will clear it off because he knows that Zalae is playing Houndmasters and you really don't want to give away that Houndmaster. So I would be shocked if he didn't clear both of this.
Yeah, what's really good for him is that Murloc Knight is curving really nicely into it, and Hunters have no good way to deal with a Murloc Knight. I mean, they have an Eaglehorn Bow, they've got a quick shot, but they don't really have anything that kills it outright unless they kill command, and you have to leave them a beast for them to do that.
Oh, that kill command feels bad. If you have the Paladin, you see kill command go on the Murloc Knight, you're actually happy.
Right.
So, yeah, place the Murloc Knight here, really strong. From Zalae, coining out Harrison Jones. He would draw 2 cards. I think that's...
I kind of like that play. Yeah, it might not be True Silver, but it's going to give you a 5/4 which doesn't die to what's on the board yet. You're punished by True Silver, of course, but then if he True Silvers, he can't use his hero power to spawn an extra Murloc. So maybe you're going to be able to stabilize going forward. I kind of like that play.
Yeah, it's actually really strong against the minions that Lostov has on the board right now. It offers a trade for both of them. Yeah. I mean, Lostov will have the option to just ignore the Harrison Jones, but still, like, yeah. Looking at the other plays, I think the Harrison is the best one.
Yeah, ignoring Harrison is a good thing to be offered, but it's not. It could backfire.
Ooh. Okay, so he wanted to save it for something else. Oh man, that's bad.
That's bad. That's
really bad. Yeah.
Coin Ironbeak or coin Mad Sign. Like I would Ironbeak that Murloc guy if I lose the roll on this animal.
That's really unfortunate for Zalae. I think that's the only bad one because he could have gotten a Hopper, which he could have traded.
Oh god.
Wow.
That's tough. Well, Lostov's mid-range paladin is very well built to counter Hunter. To be honest, I think it's no surprise that the game has come to a point like this one, because it feels like it's well built. By just including zombie chows, you're increasing your chances to win. And the Murloc Knight looks like nothing, but it's a really big threat against Hunter. Like if they don't get the initiative on Shredders, and you've been able to clear up their minions, then you're gonna race ahead with it.
And yeah, it's silent, so it won't be spawning any extra Murlocs, but it's still a 3/4 for 4 mana. It's pretty solid.
Hey, the owl comes out on my Murloc Knight, and I've got a Tyrion. Count me in.
Yeah, it's like another same type of situation is when an owl happens on an Emperor. It's like, well, or Sylvanas. It's still a 5/5. It's still a threat. And yeah, keeping the consecration. Running a little low on cards, so that's understandable.
Yeah, typical pattern life. Rarely do you have enough cards in your hand to do anything good. So it looks like High Main coming in could solve a few of Zalae's problems, but the Owl could just diffuse it completely.
The Harrison is just... It's worse here than it would have been last turn. He only chose 1 card, but looking at his other options, I think he has to play the Harrison. It doesn't feel good, but... do you Scientist hero power? That seems so weak.
Yeah, I mean, your Freezing Trap is dead. As long as there's a 1/1 you haven't been able to negate consistently. Like, a bow here would be great. Like, having a bow wouldn't be too bad. But Harrison Jones... Like, playing Harrison Jones here makes me wonder why he didn't do it last turn. I guess he really was hoping... I guess the Animal Companion role could have been better most of the time, but it just didn't quite line up.
If he got the Huffer, but it's just he got a bit unlucky there getting the Leok. It was probably the only bad one. He got if it was like a Misha, it would have still been dealt with by something like a Jerusalem champion. But a Leok definitely the worst one by miles.
Do you push face here if you're Lostov, or do you try to make trades?
I like the face a lot. The trades don't look that appealing.
Mad Scientist just got hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
Or better if there's another card in there that can be fetched, and you know it's not going to be freezing, then that gives it consistency. But you have to play 3 traps.
It's a really tricky turn here. He could like Eagle Horn Bow and play the Scientist, but like you mentioned, like that freezing trap. I think there's a fair chance that Zalae is only running those 2 freezings, so the Bow Scientist play, which otherwise would be quite good, because you would get a secret out of the Scientist it's not so good anymore.
This is like the only time where I've ever seen a high main on 6 and thought to myself, this is not a good high main. Like, this high main is good, but it's not going to solve your problems.
Yeah. Have you ever had a moment where it's like, turn 7, Dr. Boom. This is not a good Dr. Boom.
It's happened a few times, but I mean, you have to have been in a really bad shape from the start to justify not Dr. Booming.
So there's something like a 8/1 giant on the board.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, I can't play that Dr. Boom. This is suicide.
Can't have the trade. Oh man, that owl.
The reverse Smork. It's gonna get punished a little bit though, because the owl consecration really gives Lostov a good clear.
It does.
He gets to dictate how he wants to do it, and honestly, he's gonna get a really sick clear here.
It's pretty good. He even has the 3 and forging for the following turn.
Yep.
The big game hunter not so useful right now, but just making this play this turn, making the Tyrion next turn, like regardless of what he draws, those cards just might be enough to win the game.
A very big swing card that could be found by Zalae is just something like a Dr. Boom, but because Lostov has that BGH,
the BGH is there.
Going to be a really meaningless card for the most part.
Because of that, not... Oh! What?
Zalae with the amazing top decks, getting absolutely nothing out of that Mad Scientist, guaranteeing nearly 0 value.
So the good news is he has more traps. The bad news is he drew them, so he probably no longer does.
The good news is that Eagle Horn Bow has a lot of charges. The bad news is it will have to use them into tier and take 6 a turn. So I don't know if it'll be that good.
I think there's more bad news than good news at this point.
Yeah, I think the bad news are Freezing Trap, Bear Trap, Mad Scientist, and you have like... And even Houndmaster is bad news. Yeah, there's not any good news in this hand.
This hand just sucks. I get 6 cards. Like, holy... like, how can he have 6 cards and the hand just be so bad? I mean, okay, I guess this is fine. Then you get some bow charges, but it's not great, that's for sure.
So, if you play Freezing Trap, you're not getting the bear. You'll have to let him hit you in the face to get the bear. Oh, hello.
Lay on hands. Well then, if the Tyrion is not enough, he should find what he needs from the lay on hands. Oh man.
You know, there are cases where Lostov loses because an Iron Beak Owl in combination of kill commands, because we're looking at this from Zalae's perspective, we know his hand is absolutely horrible. But if you're in Lostov's position, you're afraid of kill command pushes with Iron Beak Owl, so you really don't think you're that far ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we did see one... Hold on, yeah, we did see one owl from Zalae. He silenced the Murloc Knight, so it's possible he only plays one. But if there was another owl, if there was a kill command, but it's like... well, instead there's a scientist, 2 freezing traps. Oh, man!
Maybe you play Haunted Creeper and Houndmaster and the Mad Scientist, and you just play a board, you have 2 taunts on the board, maybe you find something good. I mean, at this stage, I really don't see what else you can do.
Like that. Yeah, I mean... You can't really freezing trap because of the owl.
Right. That's a little unfortunate.
And trying to weave in the hero power every turn, like, does that help either? The paladin is still at 17. So I kind of like that play. Just play all the minions and pass the turn.
Yeah, see what sticks and then go from there.
Yeah.
Not that you have many options after what happens, but you know.
Yeah, he does go with that exact play.
Not an awful card, but I think Lay on Hands is overall better. Unless he really wants to clean up the board. I couldn't fault him for wanting to clean up this board, because assuming there's a Hunter's Mark or an Iron Beak Owl on your Tyrion and you haven't cleaned up anything, you take a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think it might be just fine to choose Silver Champion and play the Tempo PGH Hero Power. Only have the Lay on Hands, but if you have one card in your hand as a Paladin, Lay on Hands is a good one. It's, what else could he do here? Like, Tyrion is going into the 3-4, maybe. Or he could use the True Silver on that. And
yeah, that's why, True Silver looks to me like an okay play. Hell, you don't even have to play the BGH for tempo.
Yeah.
Depending on how, likely you think it is that your opponent has kill commands. But if you remove the beasts, then kill command is a lot less scary.
I would totally play it here. It's like, even if there is a target for it later on, it's too late. I don't see that. I don't see any reason to not play it, really.
So he's gonna do the tempo BGH, and there we go.
The only thing about this is that now if the Tyrion dies, it's like, okay, well, you lose the True Silver, but it's still fine.
I'll take a 5-attack weapon.
Yeah, I mean, how bad of a shape can you be if you have that in your hand? I mean, in the play.
And now, how many traps does Zalae play? We should get to know that based on the Mad Scientist here. As viewers will see it, Lostov will have no way to know whether or not these freezing traps are what they are. Well, he'll know if the Mad Scientist summons nothing. Yep, nothing.
Yeah. Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Lostov knows that Zalae had only traps in hand based on the Mad Scientist. So, pretty good start for Lostov, getting up the first win up against Zalae. Interestingly enough, Lostov, if I'm not mistaken, ended up beating Zalae last time they were playing in Starladder.
Oh.
Yeah. It was kind of the entire Archon lineup got completely eaten alive by Lostov in the first season of Starladder.
Well, Lostov is on the road to keep that Archon lane going here. That's quick 1-0. But to be completely fair, the draw from Zalae, it was abysmal with all those traps.
Yeah, I think actually I'm wrong about this. Lostov actually ate Orange alive and Ixixo alive and Amaz alive, and I think he needed to beat Firebat, and he was only missing Zalae. If he eats up Zalae here, he's not that far off. Not that far from just having slain Archon completely.
One thing
go ahead.
One thing about the last match is that sometimes I have this thinking when I play Hunter. It's like I try to play Scientist as fast as possible just to avoid that situation, but drawing all those traps, I mean, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of unlucky. I don't know if you saw the game from Thijs recently. He was playing Freeze Mage, and he had 10 cards left in his deck, 8 of which gave him lethal, and he only top decked 2 bad cards back to back. Did nothing. So it was really unfortunate. For 2 turns, I think. So it was a really poor game from Thijs. But I mean, RNG will happen on the draw. But I think it's the least aggravating RNG. I'm more worried about getting coin flips on Unstable Portal.
Oh yeah.
Throw a Hail Mary, get Alec here. Okay.
Oh, this is the perfect Dark Bomb here. I played this matchup like 1,000 times, and having the turn 2 Dark Bomb for the turn 2 Juggler, it's like day and night. Like the win percentage of the Warlock like goes up by
70% when you just kill the kill that Juggler.
Because otherwise it just adds up to so much damage.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Zalae is curving out very nicely, but he's running out of cards, but the Web Spinner will replenish them.
Yeah, and like Hunter's Smock, that's a good card in general. I mean, right now it doesn't do anything, but once the Giant comes, it will be really good.
Well, it might be what wins him the game, to be honest, because Lostov will be playing with the assumption that the Giant will do something.
Oh, yeah.
But in this case, it won't do much. Wow, even has an answer to the Drake. That's insane.
Definitely buffs the Haunted Creeper here to play a little bit around Hellfire. If he was to buff something else, then the Hellfire would clean up all but the Death Rattle Spiders from the Haunted Creeper.
Do you coin the Belcher?
No, you Giant.
You Giant.
He has a Molten in his hand. The coin is worth more, and he doesn't care about taking that damage right now because of the Molten in his hand.
Well, Hunter's Mark is most definitely coming out.
Oh yeah, has the Web Spinner to trade too. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, he's gonna find a King of Beasts. Look at that. This is gonna be a 5/6.
No way.
Is it a 2/6 baseline? It's gonna be a 4/6.
Oh, not okay.
That kills a slime.
It would have been a 5/6, I believe, because it's like 2/6 by default. And no, wait.
Maybe a 4/6, yeah, because he's got
Houndmaster is not a beast.
Unfortunately. Oh man, good thing it's not actually. I would probably just... No, that's it. That would be what makes me leave the game. Oh. I like punching face. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The question is how much do you punch face by? Like, so how much can you afford playing around Molten as a Hunter player? Like, I always ask this question because I'm always curious. Some people are very cautious about it, but I get the feeling you almost might as well go all in.
It depends if you can, like, how well you can get past the taunts, and if you have a kill commander or not. Like, in this situation, he does not have a kill commander or quick shot, so it's more likely that he will play around the Moltens because he needs more time to
get phase damage. Let's say to get the win. All right, makes sense.
I think that's a really good call to do it the way he did. If he hero powered, there would have actually been a Molten Giant Shadow Flame coming up. This looks like it just might be game over. The Belcher is the most... well, like no matter what he does, he can only get one taunt, right?
Life tap. So, you could go life tap, Molten, coin, double Sun Fury. Yeah, he could do that.
Maybe no. Actually, it's not lethal. Just it, or is it? How much is that?
Well, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah.
9 on board. So yeah, you definitely go for it at this point.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know he can't both clear your board and play Healbot, so you think you're going to be able to get the win with just a hero power on the following turn, and you wouldn't be wrong.
Is there any like charger that he could get from the Web Spinner for the lethal? I don't think so.
2 attack beast that has charge, like a 2-cost beast with charge. I can't think of one. The Stone Toss Boar for almost lethal, but
right. But that would only be the same amount of damage because then the Web Spinner would not go face. No! Why did he concede? He was not dead.
I think he was pretty dead to the hero power, yeah.
He was at 4?
He was at 2 at the end.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, after the hero power hit, he was very dead. So Zalae's gonna take the second game. Okay. That was a pretty quick second game. Turns out Hunters can beat Warlocks pretty fast, didn't you know, Savit?
Yeah, that happened.
It's such a lopsided matchup in favor of the Hunter.
It is. It was the key point of that game was the Hunter's mark on the Giant. Like that Giant, you just need to as the hand player, you have to get value out of the turn 4 play, whatever it is. Like after that Giant got dealt with so easily with 0 mana and a Web Spinner trade, there was very little that lost.
Yeah, like kill an 8/8 minion, draw a beast. That sounds pretty sweet.
Oh man,
wouldn't complain about that. So Lostov is gonna have to win with his Warlock and Druid versus Zalae's Warrior and Druid. Like matchup wise, I'd give the edge to Lostov slightly because we know the handlock is slightly favored against Patron, but it's not a guaranteed win. And Lostov, he's gonna play his Druid against Zalae's Patron. It looks like.
Yep. Inner way, Shade. Let's see if he goes for it. It depends what else he gets. Like, what's the fourth card?
Zalae's already got his Emperor with double frauding. How much of this do you keep? Just the fraudings? Or do you keep, like, the Emperor as well? Because it's really crucial. Oh, well, never mind. That answers my question.
Double frauding. That's definitely because of the coin.
Nice pickup from Lostov. Gets the ramp, gets the wild growth, gets the dream. Just has to find Ancient of Lore to come back in the game sometime.
Yeah.
This card draw is pretty dire.
If he picks up something like another Shade or Piloted Shredder from the top, that would be incredible. Dr. Boom, well, good card, but a little bit early for that. He could hero power here. No.
Oh yeah, you need that excess mana. I can't wait. Oh god. What about like in 8 turns he plays Wild Pyro? Funny enough though, I'll be honest with you, this new deck that plays like this new weird Druid Mill with Mulch and Naturalize uses excess mana as a clear with Wild Pyro a lot more than I thought it would.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think it would actually be that impactful, but it turns out you can get a few good wins here and there with that.
You need to give me the deck list after this broadcast.
It's hilarious.
Sounds hilarious. It doesn't have to be good, as long as it's hilarious.
That's pretty much it, really. Alright, so Zalae's considering... Was it Zalae who used to say that armoring up on... Like, not armoring up is a mistake?
I'm not sure.
Oh wow, he's giving a Wrath or Swipe the Frauding Berserker to eat.
Yep, and just Shade alone will also eat that, but I'm sure that Lostov wants to...
Oh my goodness, did this just not go from insane to insaner?
He could even have that here, because the coin is spent and there's no Death Spite coming just yet.
Yeah, but what about Whirlwind Execute? No, of course, it's the same. You're getting 1 more damage overall if you do. If you hold.
Yeah, like the way to deal with that would have been Execute, but if Execute happens, then there's probably no Execute remaining for the Dr. Boom, so I would have went face there. But I can understand that he chooses not to.
Alright, so I have to ask you, well, I mean, if you play Dr. Boom, do you attack face with Shade or you attack the Acolyte of Pain to avoid Dr. Boom being executed? Because that 7/7 is hell of a lot more impactful than a 5/5.
Yeah. I kind of like taking the Acolyte, I guess. Because this, like, also the Acolyte can draw some extra cards from the Boom box, potentially.
Well, it's looking pretty rough for Zalae. He's going to have to try to find something with Bow Rage or Shield Block or pick one, but pick something, because this is not looking too good. The amount of damage coming in is insane.
Just Lostov has been curving out so nicely. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you see Druid and you're like, well, I guess that's back to closed beta with me. I can't do anything about it. Like, there are some... That's actually the big issue, I guess, with Druid is there are matches you can't win because you curve poorly, but the matches where your curve hits, you're unbeatable. There's really nothing that competes with that.
In my opinion, like, DGT made Druid a little bit more consistent, because I know what I talked about a little bit earlier already, but still, with having more ramp effects and also having those living roots to potentially fight off aggressive decks. So there's a little bit less those matches where it's just like Druid cannot do anything if you have the right cards decked in, and like being more consistent with the ramp effects. Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting position because Zalae did end up picking up the execute. The problem with this position is that he wants to execute the Shade and Dr. Boom, but he can only choose one, unless he gets a crazy Bow Rage and picks up the second one. And even then, he's going to be super far behind.
I think it's Shredder time. Like, this is hopeless.
Okay, so you're already in Let's Find a Doomsayer time. That was early, so it's your...
Turn 5 Shredder time. Oh god.
Turn 5 Shredder time. You're right. I feel like I'm playing up against... yeah, maybe you're right, actually. It's kind of ridiculous to think about, but I think...
Okay, that actually is a good play, because he can Whirlwind here and then execute. He can trade that into... Okay, this is better, yeah. Alright, not Shredder time then, but... I mean, he's almost dead.
Ah, that's a low damage Boombot, and he's only on 8 health. I mean, he's on 8 health. He's got a shield block. I mean, if anything can come back from this, it's probably Patron.
Yeah.
But then again, there's a Keeper of the Grove hitting for 2. Like, the extra, just the body of Keeper. And I can't believe this Keeper of the Grove gets to be aggressive. He's like, I'm putting on the heat. 2 damage. Oh man, time's up. Let's do this.
Yep. That's a Shredder.
So
now you go for it.
Shield block into execute. Maybe you don't have to face tank the Shredder.
Right. But
do it, Zalae.
Just do it. Yes, what is it? Oh,
nope, not at all what he wants to see. In fact, that's a... Wow, I didn't consider this. Shredder did add a new 2-drop taunt. I completely forgot about this guy when I look at calculations from the Shredder outcomes. I completely forgot about this little sparring partner. Lostov is going to take the second game. The second win, that is, against Zalae. Yep. So he's going to have to win with his hand lock, and there's a patron left on Zalae's side, so that's giving Lostov a pretty good chance at taking it. But again, patron can take games out of anyone, so we'll have to see.
Absolutely, yeah. That hand, like, Lostov looking great here for now, but I think that the druid from Zalae should be kind of okay against the hand, like so. So, yeah, like Zalae definitely not out of it just yet.
Yeah, I think Druid, like we spoke about this earlier because we saw the match, or the matchup rather, but Druid used to be considered fairly weak against Handlock, and then double combo versions of Druids were developed, and then suddenly everybody started thinking, hey, this deck is beating Handlock more consistently, and that hasn't really changed since. So some people still believe the Druid is favored, but for the most part, I'd say it really depends on how well they curve. Like overall, going in blind, maybe it's like 60-40 or 55-45. It's not a huge edge.
Yeah, it's pretty close. The biggest thing is how well does the Druid draw, because the Warlock is somewhat consistent because of life taps. It changes, and it changes very little on the Warlock draws. I mean, yeah, sometimes there's like a horrible draw when the Warlock doesn't have a turn 4 play, for example. But the more important thing is does the Druid have Wild Growth? Does the Druid have Big Game Hunter?
And he does.
Wow.
Does he have Wild Growth? Question answered. Now the interesting thing is that it's a little awkward for Lostov to pilot from here because the plays that Zalae makes aren't weak to removal that the Lostov is holding at the moment.
Oh, look at that. Well, that Warlock hand is actually exactly the piece of that I mentioned. Like that's horrible hand. There's no threats. Dark Bomb is nice. It usually finds a target, but
you have to Iron Beak Dark Bomb, but then luckily for him, for himself, I guess Zalae can get a Hero Power Shade on the following turn.
I think he has to keep the coin for the Emperor, so probably just like just Dark Bomb here. Just a Dark Bomb, yeah.
Alright, I could see that. I could see that.
He has the Hellfire too, so in case there was something like a Shade or another Shredder coming up, maybe there's a crazy Hellfire value for 4.
Emperor Thorson will come in really handy though. It's going to give him a lot more flexibility because he's not going to be in a position where he's going to be lethaled by the time Emperor comes out. He's just undergoing a little bit of heat at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily enough that he won't be able to play Emperor. Sometimes you end up in a position like that, and that feels very frustrating. But I think he'll be okay.
He might go for like a Dark Bomb coin tap and try to find a turn 4, but I really like just the Dark Bomb. Oh, and he goes for that.
Is it a Shaman?
What?
Is he a Shaman? Vitality told him, what is that? What does that even do? Like, the Warlock doesn't address it. It dies to Hellfire.
Yeah.
It's like the most useless card you could have gotten out of this. Maybe. Bad. Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
Like, even Lowwalker Joe would have been good. Like, better than that.
Right. Yeah. You're right. Oh no. I can't believe that. Lowwalker Joe's good.
Not saying it's good, but it would have been better. It's a little bit tricky though, because the Warlock is the one who gets to decide when it goes, and sometimes as a Druid you kind of cannot execute it when you want to. But it would like give him a Hellfire.
So Savage Combatant. So one thing to note is that 3 attack per hit, the hero power from the Druid becomes a little bit dangerous, to say the least. I mean, it goes through something like a Belcher just with the Savage Combatant itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it can actually handle some of the mid-game from the Warlock. I really like this card. Yeah. It's just so hard to fit.
That's a really, really bad draw from the Warlock. It's just like 1 out of 10 when you get a draw this bad. Because it's so consistent. It's like the most consistent deck in the entire game because of the hero power and the way that it just draws so many cards. But right now, like, what do you do?
What if you... Well, I mean, you kind of have to tap, but it feels horrible.
Yeah, I think he has to do it, and then, like, with his full hand, unless he picks up a Watcher, then go for, like, a Dark Bomb.
And he's going for the Hellfire, wants to clean up the board a little bit.
Yeah,
that's definitely some forward thinking, looking at future turns and realizing he wants to get another good Hellfire in this case. Because what this allows him to do is if something like Druid of the Claw falls down, he can then Hellfire and Dark Bomb it off the coin. So definitely some forward thinking from Lostov here. And it gives him a good reason to play the heal bot if he wants to.
Lostov is not the only one with a bad hand. Like, if he plays a Shade here and the Shade gets dealt with, there's a chance that Zalae has no more minions. Like after the Shade, there's gonna be another Hellfire. And then, what if Zalae throws another spell? Turn 7, Hero Power Pass. Oh my.
Well, that's 8 damage he's pushing right now, though, but it's not enough. Like, he's gonna have to find a Force of Nature kill very soon.
Yeah.
And that's not quite it. Lostov with the Hellfire last turn to kill the totem.
Yeah.
Ended up setting up a pretty nice kill for the Shade. And now let's see if a good minion is picked up by Zalae. Not quite.
That's not what he wanted. He needed like a lore or Emperor or even a 5-drop of any sort. That's not gonna do it.
I mean, I would probably play it anyway. Well, no, I wouldn't.
It's
no, this is so because I'm thinking if you use the Keeper now, you get a Force of Nature that's not half bad. You can combine swipes to deal a lot of damage and then win with a Force, even without combo. But like you're assuming your opponent drew neither heal bots, taunts, like he doesn't have Drakes or Giants because those would have been out, but like and no healing. And there's basically no way he doesn't have either Drakes or Giants or healing. So it's kind of an all-in.
So bad because it enables the Molten Giants too, and he doesn't have like a good answer. That if the Moltens come down, it's a double swipe just to kill one.
We're all in, ladies and gentlemen, trying to get the double swipe lethal next turn. Lostov will read into this so hard.
There's the heal, but I mean, I kind of still like the play because it's
a winning play. Yeah,
it's a winning play. It's extremely risky. But if there was no heal bot, like any other card doesn't matter. It's the heal bot or well, a low tip, okay, low tip. But like low tip or heal bot,
right?
Or the game would be over. So yeah, he's gonna get punished here. But I like the play.
I think Zalae played this very well. He's gonna get punished by the heal bot and Molten. The Molten top deck was just to rub, rub salt in the wound. But ultimately, Zalae expected to probably not get away with this. But when you do, then suddenly you feel vindicated.
There's the Drake that he needed last turn. No, it's too late.
Well, he could still go for some kind of swipe play on the Giant to stay alive, but it's looking a little weak. Looking very weak, in fact.
He could like Drake and hope to find a big game. That's pretty distant.
That's an idea. That's an idea. I like that.
It's desperate, but this might call for like desperate plays.
So he's gonna deal damage to it and face tank the heal bot. This is obviously an intention for an Azure Drake swipe turn. He's expecting his opponent to use the Giant to kill a 2/4, at least hoping that a 2/4 at least lives. But I have a feeling Lostov will try to negate that possible advantage that Zalae could leverage.
Yeah.
You can double trade into it if you want and just keep the Giants.
He can do whatever he wants at this point.
Yeah. There's very little that Zalae can do to stop this.
Yeah.
The Giant is here to stay, and Zalae's got very little to say about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see it concede here.
And this Giant is just unremovable.
He can double swipe the Giant. I guess he has to do it.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
Well, I mean, what does Lostov do? I mean, he plays another Giant, then if Zalae top decks a BGH and plays a Drake or a Druid of the Claw on the back of it, it's still not quite over. But the thing is that card draw will add up and eventually be in favor of Lostov no matter what.
Alright, another like kind of winning play, I guess.
It is, yeah.
It's like a greedy play. High risk and low reward, but we're gonna be a little reward.
High risk and low reward. Well, that's kind of sad when you put it that way.
Oh man.
Lostov is kind of nice here. I mean, it guarantees that you won't get blown out of the game by some weird combination of spells, even off the Azure Drake. So you can afford to push, probably, most of the time.
Did not find a lethal just yet, but that load-up is almost as good.
Yep. I don't know if Zalae has anything he can do to stop this.
He does. He has the swipe.
Yeah, he can use, he can trade Keeper of the Grove, Druid of the Claw, but then he's going to be dead to the Iron Beak From our perspective, this is.
Yeah. I mean, with the swipe, it's good enough because he can trade the Drake afterwards. He does still have the spell power. So let's swipe the Lostov and trade the Drake in.
Okay, so you just surrender your board completely and hope you top deck something to stay in.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you're right. Maybe that's the play.
It looks like he has to do that. He's dead. Like, Druid of the Claw Taunt. No, I don't know. I think you gotta swipe.
Yeah, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, and I'm thinking either Druid of the Claw or Keeper. Like Druid of the Claw and Keeper give you a taunt, but Lostov is better because she'll kill you with an owl, or he'll kill you rather. And swipe is basically a potential way to stagnate the board, and you seize the initiative on the following turn with Druid of the Claw Shredder. But I think you're right. Overall, your play is probably a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, but this is like, it's how do you still win from here?
Oh, let's see. Let's see if you can pull it off.
Alright, still alive.
Lostov can play the Watcher offensively because the Iron Beak Owl will let it kill the Druid.
Right.
Oh,
that's
man.
actually, yeah, that's really good setup here.
The Dream.
You could just like Watcher and
Emperor. Yeah, because you get lethal through a taunt.
what do you think about just playing like Watcher, Owl, Defender? What can the Druid do to that? Watcher, Owl, Defender.
That's a great point because you've seen 2 swipes. What is he gonna do?
Right.
He needs like double, like a Wrath with a Keeper of the
Nature.
Grove, Force of Nature to combine to kill this. Doesn't look very likely.
And it's really
Yeah, that's a great play. That's a great play. We were talking about that play just a little earlier,
this is the
actually.
exact play. Yeah, this is the exact play.
Yeah, we were talking exactly about this, where sometimes in the late game, just to prevent the lethal and put back some aggression, you can sometimes do this play.
Right. Like the exact situation was that Watcher would have already been on the board, and this would be turn 6 with just the Owl Defender. But like, yeah, the same situation where you silence the Watcher.
So I guess you have to kill the owl and drop the Druid of the Claw and hope it sticks. Or is there another way to approach this that involves a wild growth? I can't even think of a single top deck that would be ever better than what you've already got.
I don't know. Looks like he's just gonna keep her the 3-2 and yeah. But that's gonna be a game with that Emperor Taurus on either Shadow Flame, trading in the 2-3 or well, yeah, the 2-3 for their bear. The Ancient Watcher will be enough for lethal, and Lostov taking a series 3-1.
Yeah, Lostov wins the series. Zalae is completely knocked out, which means that Lostov will be facing off against Life Coach. That's a rematch, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because he was playing against Life Coach earlier, and Life Coach took him out, and I think the games were super close. So it came down to very marginal edges that players had over each other. Life Coach obviously taking the series, had the best of it, but now there's a chance that Lostov can climb back. So he beats Life Coach, and he's going to be able to move on, and Life Coach will be the one who gets eliminated. So it's kind of a bittersweet rematch, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that one. I think it was the best match we've had all day. Like, it was so back and forth, so close series, 3-1, like for Life Coach in the end. So I'm happy that we are getting a rematch of that.
Yeah, let's hope Life Coach is not too tired after playing, already 2 matches. Both players having played quite a bit of HearthStone today, at a competitive level. Sometimes playing winning 9 games can be a little grueling. So we'll see if they can pull it off. That being said, we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back shortly. Do not go anywhere.
From east to west, heroes are sent, seeking glory in the greatest of events. There are knights on noble steeds, those who will bring them to their knees. There are monsters to test their mettle at every turn. Legends will rise based on their merits. There's even pirates riding parrots. It's the grand